No, man, I think this is God showing you that His wonders are incredible.
Triangular head, about 5.5 feet tall. The photograph of it is beautiful, but the experience that this man had was more beautiful.
Yeah, triangular head.
Had a great experience at Oracle and ended up having a healing experience.
We did these protocols and we got into
It
meditation
dismissed
and
the.
it started to appear. And we're photographing it, we're seeing it, we're watching it, and we're looking around and everyone's mouths are wide open. A lot of times these craft, they pop in and out so fast that to try to capture them on a telephoto lens is next to impossible.
While in deep
They have a
meditation,
wide
they heard a being
field.
walking behind them, phasing in and out of 3D space-time.
A
Marconi adjusted his
Nikon
camera to shoot in the
P1000,
direction that Dr.
Coolpix
Greer pointed.
1000.
All of a sudden, a teardrop-shaped trans-dimensional object
Check it out.
materialized between Ed Moan and a medical student, which was witnessed by most of the circle.
We reviewed my photos from that particular time, and there on the hillside, standing behind a man named Ed Moen, was this being.
Oh, wow, man. Did you see that? Look.
This being has a very triangular face
Big head.
and has been seen on a number of our expeditions.
A
and
big
different
head,
aspects of
man.
healing.
Ed couldn't, he wore hearing aids in both ears and he couldn't hear, half of the things people were saying to him.
Had hearing loss, from high school. I would avoid parties and social settings where lots of people would gather together because it was uncomfortable not to be able to hear.
Oh, an actual being materialized.
Got to my room and I felt this draw to go back out there. So I got up and walked out and I saw this red light out in the middle of the desert about 300 feet away or so. I connected with it right away. I could feel it. I knew that it was aware of me and that it was indeed the thing that was calling me. So I invited it to come and hang out. At one point, Daniel heard me talking to this red orb and he couldn't believe it either. Went and got his camera and took a short video clip of this red orb.
He said that for the next 45 minutes he had a communication with them, and at the end of the conversation he said, "Do you think you can do something about my hearing?"
Got some sleep and when I woke up, I went out to breakfast with some of the people in the group. And they had hearing aids when they weren't with me at breakfast. And it was a very emotional event for me to discover that I could hear everything everyone was saying at the table. And not only at my table, but at tables away from me. And
They fix his hearing. Like they did to Claudio Pastén. Look, you don't wear the
Not as good as the EPs.
hearing aid anymore.
It's changed my life. It really has. And that's the part of it. Yes.
I didn't know this happened to him until I saw him the next day on the hammock. And he was just relating the story.
Look.
And he was crying like a baby. And just to watch the emotion coming out of him was
That's him.
very moving. And he's
Entity.
had perfect hearing since then.
My takeaway from
That is a
the event
visitor. That
and
one.
from my experience with the ETs is
No,
that
that is a
for a
visitor.
long time.
Oh, what is this?
It's useful for us to think about our own experience over the last couple hundred years. You can go back 200 and some years and show Thomas Jefferson a modern smartphone. To anyone of that period, it would look like something that was magic.
Any sufficiently advanced technology is
Indistinguishable from magic. R.C. Clark.
But we're dealing with civilizations where almost every aspect of how they appear in our time-space would look like magic to us. And in the CIA, this is actually called WSFM. Sounds like a radio station. It stands for Weird Science and Frickin' Magic. A spacecraft can be completely 3D,
Oh, look,
like
in
you
Costa
see,
Rica,
solid aircraft.
coming out
It
of
can
the
be
ocean.
partially in this dimension.
This is
but
in
shifted
Germany.
Mostly into another dimension. So I liken this to like when you're turning a dial on an old AM radio and you can move it across, you suddenly pick up Chicago and New York at the same time. They're bleeding together, dimensional bleeding. And so often these ET craft will be partially in this dimension, but
Whoa,
mostly out.
wow,
And
what a
all
good
that we
footage.
detect in this dimension might be an
Check it
electronic
out.
signature, orb, or an object that appears and flashes in and out, a scintillation of light that then vanishes, or an object that comes in where it looks almost like a hologram of an ET being that will be standing amongst
Oh,
us.
look, that's a
But it's an
dude. That's an
electronically
entity.
teleported version of that conscious
That's
being.
an entity.
I love this one. His name is Bijou. It's pronounced Bijou. It's an interstellar being.
Oh, wow, man, look at this
He has a
one.
very
Damn.
because there's a orb here that teleported him onto the site. With the naked eye, the only thing that was seen was this sphere that came up right beside my shoulder.
What was amazing is
Check it out. The sucker was floating above
he was
them.
just floating in sort of this energetic space.
That is, yeah, that is a
This
visitor.
floating, he's in the air.
Yeah, look.
When I asked him where he was from, he said it was from Andromeda.
Andromeda.
Sometimes I have to pinch myself and make sure, you know, I do a little self-check to make sure I'm just really seeing something or it's not my imagination. But that was a huge confirmation that, you know, we are really onto something with what we're doing. That we are
Oh,
really
that was funny, man. He was like
participants in
jumping in the
story and
midair.
unfoldment. So it's really amazing that you're communicating with someone from, you know, an entirely different world, and you know it's mind-boggling.
Damn, Andromeda, man. That's another galaxy.
Right on the
Look,
same
look, there is. That's a
And you can
dude,
see the
too.
eyes very faintly. It's barely in this dimension. Very crystalline. It's pitch black.
Crystalline.
This being highly intelligent, an extraterrestrial civilization at the level of the celestial. So it visualize humanity evolving to the point that everyone on Earth were in cosmic consciousness.
Look, that's it. That's an entity
That's
right there.
half a million to a billion years ahead of us.
A billion
Get a load of
years.
this. We're in a deep meditation I'm leading. We're in cosmic consciousness. This is a Peruvian doctor, medical doctor. I call it the cosmic
Check it out. There is one in this.
And it comes in and it wraps around her. She begins to have the Kundalini and an enlightenment experience like she's never had. And of course, this happens. a
Wow,
lot.
man, look at that.
We got it on photo.
See how that
I
Kundalini.
love this one. It's just all
What I experienced, euphoria.
And
I
it
don't.
was this object that materialized into this dimension and lit up and then dematerialized. What I saw
When I had that thought about we come here to experience emotions
that were joining
from
us.
the spiritual world. Wow, look at that
Interested
one.
If you have a pure heart, clear intent, and you're wanting to join them in universal peace. That's
Right.
it. They don't care about the degrees. They don't care about what the Prince of Liechtenstein said. You know, I've gone all over the world where these UFOs are seen. They're seen before I'm there and after, but when I'm there, they're not around. Maybe it's my attitude. I said, bingo.
Every experience that could be that was described, no matter how unbelievable in Dr. Reader's books or the manuals, we've experienced them ourselves. And someone snapped a photo with their iPad, beams of energy in with arrowheads.
Oh my God, look at that.
And the heart center. When we look closer at the photo here, there was a silhouette, and they were standing before we had broken the circle. They were standing under the hands.
Check it out, all those arrows.
You could see a bald being with a long robe, about 4 feet tall. So that was an amazing shot.
What I began to understand is that there's this whole spectrum of phenomena that involves 3D matter, light, sounds that emerge, tonality, electromagnetic interface. For example, we have electronic devices we'll have out, like a radar detector.
Oh, wait,
magnetometers
haywire.
to pick up the magnetic field shift. Those will all start being activated when a craft is approaching. And we're out in the middle of the wilderness where there's no source of this electromagnetic radiation, but they'll start communicating in a specific cadence and a repeatable cadence. And I call this trans-dimensional electronic communication. And they will actually take over the circuitry of these electronic devices we have out in the desert and begin to do a specific communication. Now you have to decode it, but it's reproducible. And their different civilizations will have a different pattern. So this is an electronic version of them making contact.
On the shores
Oh.
of the Outer Banks in North Carolina, ETs produce these tones via the team's radar detector.
Oh my god, listen to that shit.
An enormous golden object appeared, illuminating the ocean. Another object appeared and made a 180-degree turn, a maneuver that no satellite can make, then dematerialized in clear skies.
Boom.
What comes up in the context of CE5 is something's happening. What is it? How's it going to affect me? Is it and all the drama comes up, the Independence Day images, the drama that's all through YouTube, all of the programming that is out there comes up because we're saturated in it. What I would suggest
Yeah.
to people, if they are experiencing fear or if they feel apprehensive about doing it, make sure you do it in a group. Make sure
Oh,
you
look,
set up
that's in
the
Guadalajara.
parameters of unity, of peace. This is a frequency that is
That
far
one
above
is
the
the
spectrum
hand of
fear.
God.
So there's an incompatibility there in a scientific perspective. If you think about resonant waves, the energy, the gratitude,
That's
love,
the
joy,
one in
peace,
Guadalajara.
this is a frequency that
And
you
that is
establish
a hand.
through whichever
I
practice
decoded that
and then
image.
extend your connection from there.
Researchers have discovered that remote viewing and meditation
Uh-huh.
are most effective when the participant enters a state called heart-mind coherence.
The alpha level.
Contains 40,000 neurons that can sense, feel, learn, and remember. You can bring your mind and heart into this coherent state and have more access to intuitive knowing by consciously focusing on positive emotions during your meditation.
Correct.
These beings they respond to our thought. They respond to our thought. So they will not be invasive. And if you feel like you want to continue whatever contact experience that's happening, but there may be a bit of residual fear that you're trying to work through, tell them. Say, look, I'd love to carry on doing this, but I feel a bit scared right now. Can you help me with that? And they will.
And that's the other evidence I know they're not hostile. We've been all over the world, thousands of hours, with thousands of people, have had all manner of contact at a distance and intimately, beings, ET beings appearing in our rooms, all kinds of things. No one has ever been harmed. No one has ever been harmed at all. This isn't an official document on the FBI website, sort of hidden in plain sight. But it really confirms everything that we're explaining, but also the experience we've had. And this isn't from 1947, so this is 72 years old. He goes through and describes that they are peaceful people, they traverse these dimensions, that they have these abilities in consciousness. He even relates to some of the Vedic terms of the kind of capabilities witnessed from these beings.
All matter originates and exists only by virtue of a force which brings the particles of the atom to vibration. I must assume behind this force the existence of a conscious and intelligent mind. This mind is the matrix of all matter. Max Planck, founder of quantum theory.
Even though what I'm doing with CE5 is what I'm most ridiculed for, it was the project that got the most respect and attention from the intelligence community because they knew it was real. They knew the science of consciousness is real. They knew that these ET civilizations utilize communication technologies that interface with thought, telepathy, and consciousness. They all know this. This is an open secret in the intelligence community. We all think that power is derived from your weapon system, your financial cloud, the usual materialistic paradigm. The reason that the deeper elements of the intelligence community have this intense interest in it and don't want the public to know is that, first of all, it is extremely efficient spycraft, which they don't want others to have. Secondly, they know that if people understood the power of consciousness and of mass consciousness, they would be able to completely change
machines and